Why hello there, this is Prime Scalador here with another Raid Shadow Legends videos. Guys, I am so sorry it's been so long. It's been a crazy week. Had a lot of sick kids this week. But we are back. And the portal is glowing. We have our champion Chase. And at this time, we are trying to get the shards for... Can't remember her name. It's... the Noldua. So this champion's really cool champion. I'm excited to get her. And we are pulling today because there is a 10 times chance of getting her companion champion, Solinar the Gleaming. Really awesome guy. A1, it's always critical if Noldua's on the team. Has a 60 books up to 80% chance of putting fatigue on the enemy for one turn, which fatigue is one of those debuffs where if you use an active skill while you have it, you then get put to sleep. And then has an 80% books up to 100% chance of counter-attacking with the skill whenever an enemy gets an extra turn, or has an instant turn activated, and it has a 15 books up to 35% chance to counterattack whenever with the skill whenever an enemy has their turn meter increased. And then A2 attacks an enemy. Attack is always critical if Noldua is on the team. Will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. This champion is immune to all debuffs when the skill is on cooldown. Whenever an enemy tries to put a debuff on this champion while the skill is not on cooldown, this champion gains a random buff instead. And it does not work against bosses. And then A3 attacks an enemy before attacking, steals all buffs and 100% turn meter from the target if they're not under stone skin. It cannot be resisted, and the attack is always critical if Nolda was on the same team, and this will ignore stone skin buffs. And then the champion receives 75% less damage on enemy extra turns or instant turns while this skill is not on cooldown. And while the skill is on cooldown, reduces the cooldown by 1 turn whenever an enemy receives an extra turn, has an instant turn activated on them, or has their turn meter increased. Occurs once per turn. And then he has a passive where whenever an enemy receives healing, has 100% chance to reduce the amount of healing received to 0. This champion will receive that healing instead. If Noldua is on the team, the enemies will receive damage equal to the healing instead. Does not work against bosses. And then once per round, if this champion is dead, revives this champion with 100% turn meter and 100% health when their last living ally is killed, and then places Magma Shield on them for 2 turns, equal to 300% of his max HP. Noldua's on the team. It is a protected buff. And Magma Shield is a shield that does damage whenever you try to destroy it. And then he has an ally attack by 33% aura. So really cool guy. We're going for him today. We got ourselves 27 void shards. We'll pull that, and then we'll kind of just see where we're going from there. So let's get started. Not really expecting anything. We would love an Inquisitor Shamil, but we will kind of see where we're at with that. Getting a lot. Oh, we got Lego, and we got a Fortis. Ooh. Fortis is probably the person I would have wanted the least, but hopefully he'll get another boost at some point and get another buff and be somewhat better. But attacks an enemy, chance putting fear for a turn, and this attack always crits if the target's under fear. A2 attacks all enemies, has an 80 books up to 100% chance of placing true fear for 1 turn. Can't be resisted if they're under fear. A3 attacks all enemies, will ignore 30% of the target's defense against targets under fear. It's always critical under fear. Damage the skill increases 10% every time a fear or true fear is placed on an enemy. And this skill has a 40% chance to be unlocked for 1 turn whenever a fear or true fear is placed on an enemy. So it's a secret skill. Then has a passive, increases the chance of enemy skills failing by 15% when an enemy is under fear. So instead of it being a 50-50, there's a 65% chance that the fear procs. And then prevents his champion's death, keeping them alive at 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. Removes all buffs and debuffs from the champion. After preventing the death, fully heals them and depletes their turn meter. And has an 80% chance putting a fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Then finally puts a sleep on this champion for 1 turn, and it cannot be resisted or blocked. So, I mean, we'll take it. It's not the best, not the worst. Could be worse. We could have just gotten nothing, but at the same time, some of us would rather have gotten nothing than Fortis. He's an okay champion. Like, I'm sure someone can use him on their account, but for me, he's probably not that good. Like, someone like Ethlin the Golden is probably a lot better because he does a lot more damage. Fortis is kind of a weak hitter when it comes to it, but you know, we'll take a legendary anytime. We also have Sky Touch Shaman, who has Revive on Death, and Gom Yellowhand, who has a whole bunch of stuff like Leech, Heal Reduction, Increased Speed, Continuous Heals, and Stun. So, let's see what we got. Got ourselves Tree Shield Knot and Gear Grinder, really good epics, or not epics, rares who can revive. Doom Screech is really good turn meter booster. Lua, who I'm not actually sure what she does. Looks like she just hits a lot of times. And ignores shield and block damage. So, got some options there. And then we got our single pulls. Starting out with a Huntress. We really want an Inquisitor Shamil. That would be phenomenal. Got ourselves a Seducer. We're looking for that Inquisitor Shamil. Paragon has this incredible A2, which puts Unkillable on a target for 2 turns on a 2-turn cooldown. So absolutely busted. Summon to the Reserve Vault. Reliquary Tender, awesome because she can revive. Got ourselves Confessor. And Towering Titan. Decreased defense, provoke, and some shielding with increased defense. Last one. Let's see what we get. We get ourselves a Renegade, who has this skill here that reduces the cooldown of all skills by 2 turns. Alrighty. That was 27. Let's see where that put us. That put us right where we needed. Perfect. So we got that. That means we are good to save. We had a Euros, the Soul Cage, and a Laberga and a Galapago, and we are good to save those for another time because we were able to get everything we needed. Alrighty. Well, hopefully your guys' pulls are a little bit better than mine. You're able to get something good, a good legendary that you're wanting. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and enjoy yourselves, and keep on raiding.